should have known this would be a trap.
I would have.
There's no antidote for Tiberium. Divination is death for the weak. We'll see how strong you are back at interrogation.
Tell me, Slavic, did your all-knowing God mention that you would die today?
I live for Cain, and I die for Cain. The difference is trivial.
How does it feel to be the guinea pig this time? Name is McNeil when they ask who beat you.
You have been taken to a high-security prison 70 miles south of Hammerfest, Norway. GDI presence is at full saturation. A small Nod commando team is positioned by the north entrance of the facility. They will help you escape, but you must rescue Oksana and get to them first. The C4 in this device will detonate in 5 seconds. A cyborg commando has been sent to retrieve you. Once free, rendezvous with your rescue team to the south. Use them to locate and free Oksana before she is transported to the main GDI facility. After she has been freed, capture a GDI transport to make your escape.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Watch Prison Break. With me today is...
Aces high. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So, here we get pulled over for inspection. And I'm not sure how they try to how they intend to smuggle a giant cyborg commando through, but apparently it worked.
Hiding in plain sight works every time.
Yeah, I like to think that they just put like a pair of Honcho Marx glasses on him and like McNeil's jacket and had him pass for a GDI officer.
He colored himself gold. They never knew the difference.
That's actually a thing about the truck. As they get in, the color actually switches from red to yellow. So presumably that's what they did for like, presumably the truck, they repainted the truck so it would actually look like a GDI one.
I believe that. Oh, so now that we've got the commando, we just get to use them all the time. It's great.
Yeah, except this is the only other mission that he appears in, unfortunately.
Uh-oh, ice.
Yeah, if you don't micromanage your tanks, one of them will sink in. It's not a huge deal because, like the previous Cyborg Commander mission, the Cyborg Commander pretty much runs the show. But this time around, there's actually quite a few Titans, and they can be a threat to him, so what I like to do is just have these guys run forward and just draw fire away from the Cyborg Commando.
It's not a bad idea. You may as well use the rocket infantry. They can take the hits a lot more than your tanks or your commando can.
Yeah. I mean, even the light infantry would be sufficient for that job, so it's not like... yep.
Is this the introduction to ice?
Well, for the Nod campaign, we've already seen it in the GDI campaign.
Well, I just don't remember it being, like, as big of a deal. Like, here, it's pretty obvious. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna lose one of your tanks. And I don't think it was that blatant in the GDI campaign. I don't remember it being like that.
Yeah, in the GDI campaign you had a lot more amphibious units too, though.
That's true.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, we need to pick up Oksana. So There's actually several ways to do it. Well, we can intercept her at this base where she's being loaded into a train, or she will be in a bit. Anyway, so there's this side path, it's the least defended one, there's also some others. One of them has an RPG tower. And we pretty much, well, we mostly just have to take out these production buildings, so the enemy just won't be able to reinforce itself. And since we have 2 engineers, it is actually possible to capture these buildings. But since we don't actually have any money and I'm not sure if this base is a refinery, I'm not sure if you could actually like build units yourself.
I don't think so. I've never had it get to the point where you have to do this the other way, but do they give you extra reinforcements in that case?
No.
No?
No, yeah, if you don't intercept Oksana fast enough, they'll move her to the main GDI base, and that one is just so fortified, it's pretty much impossible to retrieve her.
Pretty much just restart at that point. That's what I always did.
Yeah. And there was the train that Oksana was being loaded into. The last train car is flagged as like being not attackable because it's like plot relevant. Because that's the one she goes into. And I captured the construction yard because I was thinking that I might be able to sell it to get some reinforcements. But as it turns out, it doesn't actually give you any light infantry or anything.
Not to mention the fact that you have no money, so you would have had to have practiced. You would have had to capture one of the production buildings.
Yeah, I mean, the plan was to sell the construction yard because normally that spawns a number of infantry units. You know.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and so that did work out. Like, you'll see once I actually sell the thing. But it doesn't, for some reason in this mission it doesn't actually spawn anything. Like normally it would spawn an engineer and some infantry.
What the? You're getting some weird glitches in this mission. Keep getting phantom sprite boxes.
I didn't see any.
Well, it's happened. Well, it's just happened a couple times. Just every so often, it'll just have an extra box somewhere. Not a big deal. It's just, you know, it's nothing like the drop ships from the GDI campaign.
What about the drop ships?
Oh, the drop ships that had a mind of their own.
Oh right, that one. Yeah, I remember that one. Although, hopefully this Orca transport will prove more cooperative. Although I'm not sure how they plan on piloting it, because like, I don't think the Brotherhood has any personnel that can operate an Orca transport. And
probably. I'm sure someone will give either Oksana or Slavic a gun before they go on there, and that's how they'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, they do have guns already. I never actually tested them to see how effective they are.
Oh, did they? I didn't think they were. I thought they were just reusing old sprites. I didn't think they could actually shoot. I never.
Yeah, they do actually have guns. Like, I do remember that much, but I don't think they were very effective. And since they're mission critical, I usually just park them in the APC anyway.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to try to have them do any fighting.
Yeah, because chances are you'll just get them like crushed by a Titan or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that would be, I guess, one way that it would happen.
Mission accomplished.
Well, that was fun.
I am disappointed.
There was no excuse for our capture.
The Brotherhood cannot afford ignorant mistakes.
McNeil will pay.
Our scientists have perfected the next generation of Tiberium-based missiles. I'm transferring control. I want you to test them.
In this sector lies a nod base, overrun with Tiberium-based life forms. Find the base, reactivate it, and use the Tiberium life to fill our missiles. When you have enough of the Tiberium substance, launch the missile against the GDI base and destroy it.
So, for this mission, like for the endgame in general, there's a lot of parallels between the different campaigns. Like in the GDI campaign, we had to stop Nod from using chemical missiles, and now we actually have to build chemical missiles ourselves and use them on GDI.
Yeah, and of course there we now we get, I guess, official confirmation that the vein holes are also Tiberium life forms. I mean,
Yeah.
could
Also,
have guessed that anyways, but you know, now they've officially said yes, this is from Tiberium 2.
yeah. Maybe it was just somebody didn't mow his lawn for long enough, and that what happened.
I believe that in
Yeah,
this
also-
scary future.
Also, this mission is kind of dickish at the start because, well, they tell you to go to the north, so, like, cardinal directions, you'd think you'd go up. But, that's actually where the GDI base is, and even if you just go too far north to that, Titan, you will aggro on a hover MLRS, and if you aggro
yeah.
that one, you also aggro a disruptor that comes around and just breaks your shit. It's really annoying. And speaking of dick moves, here's another dick move Westwood tries to pull on you, but I know it's coming, so I kinda cheese it.
Oh,
Like, if
hello.
Yeah, like, remember this guy? Remember how much of a fucking liability this guy was in the first campaign?
Well, now he's a liability in a different way.
Yeah. Like, normally he's not a problem, but because you only get like 6 light infantry for anti-infantry, and the rest of your force's vehicles, he's actually kind of a problem. Especially because they send him like from
Unit lost.
from another direction than the other mutants, so it's kind of like you get blindsided by him.
Unit
Yeah, and
lost.
he's just... Man, he's quite the tank at this point.
Yeah, he's also really, really determined to hijack that one attack cycle.
Yeah, it's like he... Does he have limited sight or something like that he didn't see everyone else on the bridge?
No, he will aggro on one unit and never stop until he hijacks it.
Oh, okay.
So I could have actually moved the rest of my fighting force in and just have him deal with the mutants, and he would have completely ignored them and just went straight for that one attack cycle that was driving around in circles.
That's interesting. That's kind of cool to know. Oh, hello.
Yeah, so here's our
Captured.
overrun base, and it's kind of funny because in the GDI campaign what would frequently happen in that the corresponding mission is the Nod AI would just get wrecked by the Wayne hole because it would just grow out of control and whatnot. And
Speaking of which, looks like you got a problem with your silo there.
yeah, that actually gets destroyed before I manage to sell it. And well,
there
I
it
find
goes.
it kind of funny that well, cannot like the mission briefing. It actually says this base has been overrun by Tiberium lifeforms, so presumably this is another one of those bases that got just wrecked by Tiberium, by vein holes.
Yes, we are aware the AI does not prioritize taking care of the veins.
Unit ready.
Yeah, the AI is just, in this game at least, is generally really bad at dealing with Tiberium life. Like, they improved it in Firestorm, but this one is just really bad.
That's just part of the fun. Nice of them to give you pretty much all blue Tiberium in your base.
Well, yeah, in our base, but it doesn't really last long, unfortunately.
Well, it's a good start, though. I mean,
Yeah, we do get quite a bit of money for a start as well, so that's not a problem. Although, one thing I want to mention is about vein holes, because we have two of them, like the one up in the city and down in our base. It's actually kind of important that we build these weed eaters, which we actually see for the first time this time around. They pretty much harvest the vein holes and they deliver it to the Tiberium waste facility. It works exactly like harvesting Tiberium, except that the Tiberium, if you neglect to harvest enough Tiberium, it won't just spread and destroy your entire base. So, yeah.
Not only do you get missiles out of it, you know, it's just a smart thing to do so that you don't, you know, have your base destroyed.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of a neat mechanic, because it's it kind of makes you think between like balance between how many vein holes you want to harvest for missiles and how many you should even leave alive, because it might be smarter to just kill one or two if you have a lot, because otherwise it'll just overrun your base.
That seems like an interesting place to place your tech center.
Yeah, honestly, I just put it somewhere where it looked neat.
Don't exactly expect anyone to come into your base.
Yeah, the only time one of my buildings got attacked in my practice run was by a Visceroid that somehow wandered over all the way from the GDI base to mine.
Wow, that was a very determined Viceroid.
Yeah, so anyway, these chemical missiles, the way they work is after our weed eaters deliver enough veins to the Tiberium waste facility, it pretty much gets ready within a few seconds, and then we can fire it. We saw what it does in the GDI campaign. Spawns a bunch of poisonous clouds, they corrode buildings and vehicles, and infantry just dies instantly with a very high chance of becoming Visceroids. So I guess the intended way for this mission to play out is that you fire the missiles at the GDI base, and just wait until the Visceroids take it out and do like a little siege thing.
Sounds like a not too bad of an idea for a strategy, but I've never had that work.
Yeah, like I said in my practice run, I only ever managed to spawn 2 Visceroids. One of them wandered over to my base, and the other one spawned right as I was assaulting it with my own units, and so of course also wandered over to my units and attacked them.
Construction complete.
Well, that's interesting. Ooh, is this the first time that we get to use stealth, or was that in a previous mission?
No, this is actually the first time we get it. So that's another new unit. Stealth tank. Like we saw in the GDI campaign, offensively it's not very good at all. And pretty much the only real use for it, I find, is that if you micromanage it, you can use it to recon the enemy base, because you can just drive him over and the enemy won't see him. So that's pretty much
But if you're playing against, someone who actually can think, so, another human player, they're just going to put up a sensor unit and, well, they're always going to see him coming.
Yeah. Like, that's the big problem, I think, with the stealth thing, is that there's just a billion things that make him lose his stealth, including actually firing his weapon, and then he's just really weak, and he lost his only advantage. So it's really not worth it at all. Just build more artillery.
Yeah, the tanks aren't too useful. Like, are they anti-air as well?
Stealth tanks, yeah.
Yeah. So like pretty much every rocket unit is anti-air. So there's that, but
Except the attack cycle for some bizarre reason.
oh, that's right. Forgot
Yeah.
about that one. But
I mean, even if you want to do anti-air, you're better off just building like 5 missile troopers.
yeah. And then of course it just kind of comes back to, well, the stealth tank is $1,100 that could have gone towards more artillery and, you know, rocket troopers.
Yeah, even tick tanks are worth more. I built these 5 tick tanks,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually just expect that was mostly just because I couldn't build artillery yet, and I wanted to use my money, and I didn't really expect them to make much of an impact. Also, hello there! Forgot to deploy my artillery. Yeah, so these tick tanks, I didn't expect them to survive at all, and then by the end of this mission, I lost like 32 units total, only 1 tick tank.
Nice. But as we have seen as GDI, the real use in stealth technology comes from base defense. Well, in vanilla Tiberian Sun.
Well, are you referring to the stealth generator?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's another new thing we can build. But first, Obelisk of Mal, also very useful for base defense. Yeah, it's pretty much just a laser turret that doesn't suck.
Laser turret that can, what is it? 2 shots to take out like a tick tank or a Titan?
I'm pretty sure tick tank goes down in 1 shot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's really, really powerful, and it has really long range. So, you can't actually just snipe it with Titans, unlike the regular laser turret.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Well,
downside is really slow rate of fire, so if you swarm it with infantry or something.
Or swarm it with Titans, but then again, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 1500 for an obelisk. That's 2 Titans.
Yeah.
And
You're probably
2
gonna
Titans
lose
versus
at
an
least 2.
obelisk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Infantry reporting. Problem.
So,
So you're taking out the, I guess, just their air power?
yeah, GDI has a number of smaller outposts on this map. One of them produces their infantry, and the other one produces these orcas. And they'll harass your base every now and again, and taking them out just saves you a bit of headache.
Is this one of those missions that's eliminate the GDI presence?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, it's still a lot better than the GDI one, simply because GDI doesn't have laser fences.
Yep.
Which, by the way, we can build now too, but why would we ever want to? They're fucking terrible. Like,
Take your power.
yeah, they cost a lot of power, and they don't even provide the same protection as regular Nod walls, because not only are they vulnerable to all weaponry, unlike the concrete walls, they also are in total weaker because each fence post takes up the entire section of fence.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, pretty much the only advantage they have over the regular concrete walls is with the stealth generator, because the stealth generator will cloak the laser fence posts, but
Right, but
not
they
the
won't
concrete
cloak the
walls.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't built one yet, but basically what the stealth generator does is it cloaks everything in a certain radius, and this is kind of useful in multiplayer because you can like set up stealth bases that the enemy doesn't know is there. Against the AI, it's not as useful because obviously the AI cheats like a motherfucker and knows where all your buildings are anyway, but it still prevents them from attacking it.
Mm-hmm.
So at least that's nice. But really the biggest part is really against human players, and against human players, if you put down concrete walls, they're gonna be still visible through the cloak. So any intelligent or at least semi-intelligent being will just deduce that wherever you put your concrete walls and wherever they keep popping up just completely out of nowhere, there's probably a cloaked base there.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like you sit there going, as much as I want to just build my pretty base, you realize, oh, I'm not. I'm going to put down a stealth generator, and gee, everyone's just going to be like, huh, I wonder why we've got this nice little sealed off area of walls and concrete.
Orders received.
Unit ready.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're playing against GDI, you don't really need concrete as much because...
Oh, that's true, because they don't have
yeah.
any subterranean units.
Yeah, they don't have subterranean units, and most of the units that make craters with their attacks are, well, I mean, it's mostly just cluster missiles and artillery.
Yeah,
Waiting order on my way.
it's only in Firestorm where they would get that capacity.
Yeah, so unless you're playing Nod versus Nod, there's not much reason to actually build concrete.
That's true.
Unit ready. Orders received. Unit reporting. Orders received.
So you haven't used your missile yet. Is that you're just looking for the base first?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really have a target, I don't really feel like wasting it on a disc thrower.
Oh, that's
And,
true.
I mean, I was assaulting the outpost, so like, that's the problem. If you fire it while you're attacking a base, it might
Yep.
just turn around and hit your own guys.
I just know that sometimes with me, I just feel like, okay, I think they're generally over in this area, so sure, let's just fire off this missile that I've been sitting on for a few minutes. Kaboom! Oh, I heard a bunch of people die. I think I got something.
Can you actually fire it in the fog of war?
I
didn't
believe you can. I think you
I
can with
didn't
the
test
missiles.
it, but I didn't think of it because like the latest CNCs you can't fire super weapons at the fog.
I know you can, like, I've done it before with the ion cannon, so I'm pretty sure you can do it with the missiles too.
Also,
Missile ready.
that's the nice thing about not using it. You can just store up Tiberian waste in the facility and just like double tap it. Because by the time the first one hits, the second one will be ready.
Select
Yep.
target.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, it's like the Scud missiles from
Yes,
Generals.
sir. Unit reporting, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Or I guess the
this-
Scud missiles are like the chemical missiles from here.
Unit ready.
Yeah, except the Scud missiles didn't turn people into living masses of flesh that go around attacking things.
Boy, that sure would have made Generals an interesting game if that happened.
Yeah, that's something I really like about this game is it really uses Tiberium not only as a plot point and not only as a just a generic resource. Like usually you have your resources and RTSs were just pretty much just there. And you collect them, and that's that, because you have to collect something. And so it's like with Generals, it's just generic crates of money lying around for no reason.
You're just collecting supplies. It's not it's not even ore like it is in Red Alert, you know, where you're collecting precious metals.
Yeah, and I mean, in this game, they actually made it so the Tiberium is not just something you collect, it's actually an environmental hazard, and there's like all these Tiberium life forms that are even more hazardous to you, and they really make it a really good, like, they really make it an integral part of both the story and the gameplay. So,
Unit ready.
Yeah, they were talking about that in the Tiberian Dawn thread about I think it was Tiberium is like this this unique plot MacGuffin in a sense, because it's on one hand it's important to the story, and on the other hand it's it's your resources, it's how you get money. It's kind of like Spice in Dune, except it's dangerous.
Yeah, and in this game, in Tiberian Dawn it was already pretty present, but in this game they really toned up just how much of a threat Tiberium can be to you, especially with just the Tiberian wildlife. I mean, the fact that it's a strategy to just shoot Tiberium missiles at the enemy and wait until Tiberian wildlife overruns his base. And in Firestorm it's much more prominent because there's actually maps that start out with lots of Tiberium life forms, and those maps can be really hard because if it's early on and like a Visceroid just wanders into your base, it can really fuck you up.
Not to mention that, if I recall, I think ion storms are more frequent in Firestorm.
Not sure. I think there's only one Ion Storm mission anyway.
Well, there are a couple, I'm pretty sure. I remember Ion Storms being a bigger deal in Firestorm. And I think they made a specific mention on how they were happening more frequently in the manual or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of... Well, I mean, that's kind of the plot about of Firestorm. They really wanted to drive home Tiberium as a threat to just life on Earth in general. But I mean, that's kind of going into spoilers, so... hey, enemy base! We're assaulting it. How about that?
So, would this be the real base now, since you're actually facing GDI walls instead of just sandbags?
Yeah, this is the main base, and there is actually a way to circumvent these defenses and just go around, but we still need to come through here to destroy all the buildings, so there's not much point. And here I finally built a stealth generator. Yeah, so like I said,
talking about it for so long, and then finally we got it.
Yeah, so like I said, they cloak everything in a large radius, or semi-large at least. And for some reason my cyborgs decided to wander into RPG fire and get killed. And yeah, the downside to the stealth generator is of course that it draws just a fuck ton of power. You need like, I think 3 advanced power plants or 4, maybe just to get it to run. Something
like that. And that's on top of the fact that, well, do you need the tech center for... yeah, you need the tech center first if you want the stealth stuff. So that takes a lot of power too.
Unit lost.
Yeah, it's more like this thing where really just for multiplayer, where you have like a smaller expansion base, you build a new MCV and you have it like drive over somewhere.
And then just build up a bunch of power plants.
No, what I usually did was just plop, like, preemptively build the stealth generator, and then as soon as I deploy the MCV, I plop it down. So like the enemy won't have a chance to spot my base prematurely.
Right.
Because obviously, if a human player ever spots your base, he will just remember it's there.
Yeah, it's not too different from I guess pretty much any other RTS, you know. You scout out and like, oh, found their base. It's pretty much always gonna be there until they destroy it.
Yeah. Also, there's 2 baby destroyeds from that chemical missile I fired.
Yep.
I'm sure nothing will ever come from that.
Well, so far it just seems to be content to just kind of, it's getting kind of close.
Yeah, also, in this mission, the main use for the chemical missile is really to just destroy these outposts, so you don't have to drive over there and destroy them with your units. Because the missile itself is strong enough to kill weaker buildings like power plants in one shot, but not really for stronger ones like the whatchamacallit,
or like the factories and
yeah.
Sir? Yes, sir.
Well, that's alright. I mean, if you blow up one... Well, since the power plants tend to be like in a row or something like that, you blow up one and then you just let the gas clouds take care of the other ones.
Well, that's kind of unreliable though, like, the gas clouds, since their spread pattern is so random.
That is a very dumb disruptor.
Yeah, except it actually blew up my artillery through the cliff wall.
Wait.
Like you could see how his attack just phased through the rock.
Looks like that one... is that still a baby? I think that's an adult.
Yeah, that's an adult. He's attacking my... I thought he was attacking my tick tanks and I wanted to drive him to safety, but it turned out he was attacking my repair vehicle. Rest in peace, repair vehicle. With his dying breath, he still repaired a tick tank as his last action. By the way, something worth mentioning is you can only ever build one Tiberian waste facility. So
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the big downsides is that after a while you're not gonna be limited so much by your ability to build weed eaters in your capacity to harvesting vein holes, but rather by your ability of the weed eaters to just dock and actually deliver the stuff.
Yeah, because you can just build as many of those as you want.
Yeah, you could. I guess this is to prevent you from just building like a billion weed eaters.
And then just keep firing missiles continuously.
Yeah, just having them rapid fire. I mean, normally you would still be limited by the amount of lane holes you have available to you. So,
Unit ready. Sir, unit ready. Unit ready.
So we were saying, so that disruptor, it actually was able to shoot through the landscape.
Unit ready.
Yeah.
Wow.
The projectile literally went into the cliff wall and just started damaging the artillery.
I've never seen that happen before.
All the non-standard projectiles in this game have really weird interactions with terrain. Like we saw that with the railguns that GDI had.
Yep.
It just doesn't work
and with
well.
the flames too.
Yeah, the Devil's Tongue is really bad offender in that regard too. Rockets have really big trouble when firing up cliffs. So like a lot of the time they'll just hit the cliff in a weird way. It's just not very good.
I can't remember if that was something that they kept around in later Westwood games, like if that was something that was in Red Alert 2 and like Dune, I believe in Dune 2000 it kind of acted that way with their rocket troops too.
Yeah, by the way, the stealth tank just got really screwed over by the artillery, because the artillery decided to fire the harvester. The splash damage hit the stealth tank, and of course, the second that the stealth tank takes damage, he immediately uncloaks.
Yep, and then they saw him, and then...
Yeah, and of course, it doesn't matter that he re-cloaked by the time they started firing, because once the enemy aggro's on him, it'll just keep firing. Yeah. They just psychically lock onto him.
Wow, that was a nice spawn from that construction yard. They got 2 engineers.
Yeah, didn't really help them against artillery though.
No, of course not, but...
You know, that's actually something just you should always keep in mind, is that the AI, when you destroy the construction yard and they spawn engineers, they always send it immediately for your construction yard.
Just gonna go on a suicide run. I mean, why not?
Yeah, if you have like a undefended base or something, and you just ignore them, that can actually happen. But usually if you have base defenses, like, there's just no chance in hell this guy is gonna get past the obelisk.
How many stealth tanks do you have? You have 2? Because you got that one that you were using for scouting.
I have one because the other one blew up, remember?
Ah, right, okay. But you had built two. I thought that was the same one that you were using as a scout.
Yeah, I built that one and sent him out like forever ago, but I didn't really do much with him ever. Simply because, well, they're very micromanagement intensive. Like, to make sure they don't decloak, you have to, like, you can't go closer than 2 tiles to any
that's
turret
right.
or
Yep.
any infantry.
Yep.
Like, buildings and vehicles are fine, but otherwise, you really need to watch out for just things decloaking him, especially because the pathfinding in this game is so retarded.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about, I think that was the same way it was in Tiberian Dawn, but then I remember, oh no, that's not right. The base defenses were just detectors. If you got too close, they knew you had a stealth tank.
Yeah, also, Jesus, how many power plants do these GDI guys have?
Yeah, and they're fully loaded too.
Yeah, I imagine if the map was like 3 squares
Well, we haven't even...
to the left,
Yeah.
it would be like just 50 laser fence posts.
Well, we haven't even seen like a tech center or anything like that, so what the hell did they need the power for?
They did have a tech center.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
No.
I blew it up before artillery.
Ah, okay.
Select target.
Unit ready. On my way.
But I mean, they didn't really have much, like that much in the way of base defenses, so I don't really see what they need so many power plants for.
Waiting orders. Unit ready. Out.
Just to, you know, frustrate the player.
Unit reporting.
Yeah. Oh, again, mob missions aren't nearly as bad in this regard as GDI ones.
As useful as artillery are, it's still kind of annoying that you have to get them in place and quickly get
by
them
the
to
way,
deploy.
Harvester and artillery screwing over the stealth tank again.
Yep. He took a bit of a beating from that one.
Yeah, just goes to show just how weak these things are.
It's always funny to watch harvesters get hit.
Yeah, but I mean, you really have to question the Brotherhood's design philosophy. Just, I don't think this whole cardboard armor plating technology is working out for them so well.
Not really. Sometimes I sit there thinking there's a few things that you could question them on.
Secondary objective achieved. Mission accomplished.